What's up, man? July 28th, 21. Morning. How are you today? I am just peachy. Most recently, I tried to get a dentist appointment with my specialist, who will not see me unless I am tested by their certified facility. So therefore, I cannot go to my dentist. It's not just a dentist, guys, it's a specialist, of which there are only a couple in Michigan. So that's out. Oh my goodness. What else? Sorry, I'm moving around a lot. I should probably move this thing. See that right there? I'm not I can do about it, so. So apparently people such as myself are now the equivalent of drunk drivers, murderers, selfish, unpatriotic. What am I missing? Oh, and stupid, according to our El Presidente. Nice. Because we're super spreaders, right? 2.5 years or whatever the hell later, I'm still kicking, man. Ain't nothing been wrong with me, still isn't anything wrong with me. In the wintertime, I sometimes feel a little ill now and then. Been around 53 years. Powered through all that. Never had to go to the hospital for any of that. And yet, now I'm a murderer and a stupid person and a drunk driver, unpatriotic, selfish fool. But, okay, so be it. I've done other stupid shit in my life. I might as well be this. You know, if I was a irresponsible drunk driver, I wouldn't have bought the camper to keep at the lake property for when I come in off the boat. I just drive home. I have done it a few times. It's not fun, and it's stupid. Yep. So to that I would agree. Hence the reason why I bought the camper, so I had somewhere to lay down my head so as to not drive home. So whatever. So much for responsibility. You know? Pretty interesting. And pretty soon we're going to need vaccine passports. And we're going to need to have to show that shit to buy food. Pretty much to do anything. So yeah, 2 years ago when I said this shit's coming, not just me, tens of thousands of others, if not millions, said the same shit. It's coming. This shit's going to be here. Get your shit together. In that statement, it just reminds me as of late how allegedly, can't prove this, so take it with a grain of salt, that military command had been issued a warning to get their affairs in order. Hang on. Interesting, yeah, so irony. Yesterday, two, well, I want to call them Blackhawks, but they're not. I forget the model. But they were two Hilo gunships in formation, flew over my house heading due north at about 500-600 yards off the deck. Now today, just now, it wasn't a B-52, but the smaller version of a B-52, old school prop, just flew over heading northwest. Huh. I got online yesterday, and I guess apparently in northern Michigan they're having international war games training. The thing about that is that most recently I saw a video shared on BitChute. A guy in Canada had discovered a fleet of 12 or so UN transport vehicles. And not just transport vehicles, but fighting vehicles, armored, APCs with the gun turrets. So what the hell are UN vehicles doing in Canada? Interesting. In the past, it's been shared UN vehicles in the States. And there was much speculation behind that. There were people stating that they were just, fresh builds manufactured for and put on the train cars being delivered to other countries who ordered them. Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense because we're the ones that make all that, right? So, okay. But, I think that one need use a little discernment. Okay, so on the one hand, that makes sense, but on the other hand, times being taken into consideration, there could be other plausible reasons for that as well. So be mindful and be vigilant, right? Don't know what we can do about it except to be prepared to take care of ourselves and those we love. Because clearly this is not going to be anything that we can rely on those whom had been hired for the protection of us. Come this September, U.S. Armed Forces are required by mandate federal mandatory vaccinations for all U.S. service members come this September 2021. Other countries have already mandated vaccines. Using the word mandate still doesn't make it law. However, they're making it law. It's under the guise, it's just a facade, man. Look, they know that they can't say the word, you know. They're just sugarcoating it. That's all they're doing. They'll tighten the belt, they'll tighten the noose around those so tight. That's just their plan, man. So whatever. We just need to stick to it. That's all. And I really should raise this thing so I don't gotta be all like hunched over, squatting down. Bugging the shit out of me. All right. There we go. Try to get that window out. But then there's another one. Maybe if I do this. Yeah, let me do that. All right. You shouldn't be watching me anyways. Goodness and gracious. You know, ultimately, for whatever reason, other than control and tyranny, we will get to the point where we won't even be able to buy our goods online. Yeah, I know, that sounds batshit crazy. What the hell sense does that make? It makes no sense. Does any of this make sense? No. So don't try to make sense of things when there is no sensible or logical reason for any of it to begin with. You know, the point of it all is to control the entire world. That's been the whole point the whole time. It's not going to change, man. It's not going back to what it was. I told you last year to not become complacent, and that each little lull was just a acclimation period, and then they'll turn down the heat a little bit, then they'll crank the heat up a little bit more. That's how they've always done it in other situations, not just this one. We're still very fortunate in this country in that we haven't been under the boot as hard as others. But we'll be there. We're being afforded all that time by the Lord to get our shit together, man. To get our oil in our lamps and the extra. And that's in the spirit. But then there's also the flesh. You know, we still got to take care of the house that the spirit lives in, right? And by that I mean getting together the things that you are being led to get And I don't believe gold and silver is one of those things. Because I've seen that through to the end, man, after all the years of stacking. You know? You still have to have a way to cash that in. Converting it, therefore, into a currency usable by the populace. You're only going to be able to trade that metal with others like-minded. But there aren't many like-minded to trade with. So therefore, of what use will it be to you? I don't know. I have what I have, and that's, it's 2 years now since I bought anything, and I don't miss it a bit. I don't miss it. I don't think it's going to do anyone any good. Everything is going to come down to a digital currency that you'll only be able to access via your whatever it might be. In your right hand or in your forehead. Whether that's a literal thing or a euphemism. It's always been debated, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be a literal thing. And these vaccines, or so-called, are just the precursor. I don't believe this is the mark, but it is definitely a warm-up. It's of the beast system. And those of us in Christ are called to be apart from that system. We are liberated of that. So now our faith needs to be in the heavenly system, in God's system, in His order. That we can't see, but have to have faith in. God gives us that faith to begin with. So therefore, again, the faith wasn't of yourself. If you feel yourself lacking in it, then you ask for an increase. But at the same time, He's going to provide. Yeah, on the physical side of things, being given that allotment of time before these things happen, it's prudent for you to be prepared in the flesh for what you will not be able to do in the flesh at that time. Okay? Those of you choosing not to do that, that's fine. That's your choice. But you run the risk of becoming a burden on your neighbor. And you need to be aware that if your neighbor is of that system, then you're becoming reliant upon that system when you're told instead to be relying on God. To be relying on God is to be taking heed to this warning now and preparing yourselves. This is the calm before the storm. The storm has been upon us. It's just been a rain. It hasn't been the storm, man. It's perfectly designed to keep us complacent. Yep. But not to be a crazy batshit crazy prepper. Yep. As I sit here smoking cigarettes. What a great example. The resistance to all of this begins with you. By simply standing up and saying no. And knowing the ramifications of your choices and accepting them or not. You have to be willing to do what it takes to get through this. And if you're not, well, I'm sorry, man. But the facts are there. And they can't be checked by the fact checkers because they're and the fact checkers only have the internet to check the facts. The internet, of which is controlled by they whom the fact checkers work for. So if you manufacture the information, clearly you always have the correct facts, right? If you censor all the information, then the facts, according to the information provided, will be factual. Everything is a smokescreen, a fabrication, an editorial, a lie, and 110% in control of the devil and his minions. I am on a very limited timeline with my friends, as are you. So enjoy them while you got them. Because the ones who had taken it are the very ones who will, more likely than not, be the ones against you. I mean, they already are, in a sense, right? They don't realize it yet, but you need to realize that. You need to realize that your friends whom had taken this are the ones who will be against you then. Just accept it, digest it, and prepare for it. And at the same time, love them. Because I think it's that love for them in the future that might be the thing, not with all, but maybe with a few or one, that powers its way through their deception and eats its way into their heart, convicting them. And I think then we can turn back to love your enemy, right? Because at that time they would be your enemy. I've gone through all my phases, man. I've gone through the phase of hatred and every other emotion toward those whom had taken it. I'm not sure that I know the place that I'm in now. I think I'm in a place of understanding. But that's not to say that I'm in a place of rolling over and exposing my belly. That simply isn't happening. I no longer get into conversations regarding it with those whom had, because it's a waste of my time. And clearly it's too late to have these discussions with those whom had taken it. And it's pointless and fruitless. It bare no fruit then, and it won't now. It's just too late. Once you've done it, you've done it. It's over. Just like what's to come. Once you've done it, and it's over. The Spirit of God will convict you, and if you deny that conviction, if you throw it under the rug, then there's ramifications for that. And there's also a clarification for it as well. Were you in Christ to begin with? There is a degree of accountability. There is a responsibility that we do have to take upon ourselves. We hear the truth. The truth is given us. We know the truth. The truth is in our hearts. If we deny, and reject, and then were we in Christ to begin with? There is the story of the prodigal son, but this does not apply in this situation. That's a totally different dealio, man. God will protect his own. He always has. I know it seems questionable at times. I agree. I get it. Why does God let bad things happen to those in him? Well, we don't know, but he does deal with it. But we got to keep maintaining that faith, and that faith comes from him, so therefore we count on him for that. Our daily bread. This is all easy to say, hard to do. But if our countenance is on him, then I think we should not worry about these things. Again, we should take advantage of the situation and continue to prepare to the best of our ability. And that's all we got. Thank you, Many Fish, for your comment this morning. I'm holding fast, brother. I appreciate that. Take care, y'all. Till next time. See you.